Welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to be continuing on with our core data tutorial series. And in this particular tutorial we are going to be taking a look at another way that we can use NS sort descriptors to sort the results of a fetch request, and that is using the sort descriptor object. Now, an NS sort descriptor takes in this kind of object as another way of sorting our data. So let's talk a little bit about what sort descriptor is. Well, sort descriptor is a value type. It's a struct. It's not a class. It is a generic struct, so we need to give it a type parameter. And if we don't, then our key path needs to include the type, much like we did previously with our NS sort descriptors, key path, and ascending initializer. Now, you'll see this most often in SwiftUI if you look at Apple's Swift Data framework, which is an alternative for core data. It is effectively a wrapper around core data, though it's not quite as powerful as core data. So sort descriptor is heavily used there, but you can use it in core data, and that's what I'm going to show you today. So let's go ahead and start off in our UIKit project. Inside of our data controller, inside of Xcode, we have our previous way of using our sort descriptor by giving it a key path and whether or not it should be ascending. Well, what we can do instead, let's just go ahead, and I'm going to comment this one out. And in here, instead of what we had previously, we'll say NS sort descriptor. And inside of its initializer, it'll take a single parameter, and that is our sort descriptor. So we'll say sort descriptor and this sort descriptor will take in two parameters: the key path for the property that we want to use to sort by, and then it'll take an optional order parameter. Now, this order parameter is of type sort order, and it can be one of two values: forward, meaning ascending order, or reverse, meaning descending order. So we're going to start with just the key path. So we'll say \project, or actually not, it's not project this time. It's to-do list dot, not to-do list items, dot title. There we go. Now we can save it and run our code. You can see we get a build failure. Now, why is this? NS sort descriptor. I made a typo, so we'll save it. We still get a build failure. Okay. We need to open that up. Okay. Okay. Are we good? Yes, we're good now. Okay. So here's our application. you can see we have to-do list 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in that order. Now, why is that? We didn't specify that we wanted it in ascending order. Well, technically we did, because when you don't explicitly provide an order, it will assume that you want it to be in ascending order. So then, how do we specify that order? Well, it's like I mentioned, we need to give it an extra parameter. So we'll give it comma order colon, and this will be a sort order dot, and you can see forward or reverse. So let's save that and run it. There we go. Now you see to-do list 5 as the top to-do list instead of to-do list 1. Now, you might have noticed that I said sort order dot reverse instead of dot reverse. And that's because I wanted to show you, if we jump to the definition here, that sort order as well as sort descriptor, those are part of foundation. But we can see here that sort order is an enum. Granted, it has a couple more things attached to it, but it is an enum. And we have case forward and case reverse. So those are the only two cases that we're given. And so because this is an enum, we can just get rid of sort order entirely and say dot reverse or dot forward, and it'll work just fine. We can improve this further by, after we say sort descriptor, we can give it a type parameter, so generic type parameter of to-do list. And so with that, we can get rid of the type in our key path and just say \dot title, and it will know what type I'm talking about here, because that is part of the generics that's happening there. All right, we can save and run our code now. And we get a successful build. And we still get the same result as the last time we ran it. So that's awesome. But how do we apply this in a SwiftUI project? Well, we apply it the same way we applied it here. So if we go into our core data project, we can comment this sort descriptor out here. We can say ns sort descriptor inside of our sort descriptors array inside of our fetch request property wrapper. And then we pass it our sort descriptor. I'm going to give it a generic type parameter right out of the gate. And we want this to be project. And inside of the sort descriptors parameters, we'll say \name. And then we'll say order.forward, let's say. Save that, run it, and we get a successful run. And so here we are. We now have project 1, then project 2, then project 3, and so on, all the way down until we reach project 5. Pretty neat. Let's go ahead and change that reverse. We can change it from forward to reverse. Save, run. Go ahead and build that, run it. And here we are. Now you can see we have all of our projects in descending order instead of ascending order. Alright, so that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.